t-shirt that says, I put the sin in Genshin.
I love everything about Amber. I wouldn't change anything.
Fire. Sino solidified that I could never play modern day Yu-Gi-Oh. Fair it is. Here's your audition. We're doing the complete opposite.
Cook Paimon? What do you...
Well, an emergency is an emergency.
I'm just thinking about the Oratrice Mécanique than the started now.
I didn't even know that was from Genshin.
What?
I'm sorry.
Man, the rituals you guys go through before pulling on banners, I swear.
You're watching convention coverage.
Who are we missing? We're missing...
Griffin.
Griffin, Sean?
They're all here for Griffin. Let's be real.
Okay, whatever. Sure.
When they arrive, let's...
Shirley. Get it? Hey, Shirley.
Come here. Come here.
Wait.
Boo. What an entrance.
Yeah, what an entrance.
Kaya left me some Sneznaya wine. I just woke up 5 miles away from here. You.
I almost had him.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you
Good to
guys,
see you, Sean.
Hello.
we have to keep them as far apart as
It's true.
we can, which is
Please.
why- introduce ourselves real quick. Do we want to go down?
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm Josey Montana McCoy. I'm the voice of Kaya.
Woo! Yeah. We love him.
I'm Kelly Baskin. I'm the voice of Amber.
Yay! I'm Stephanie Southerland. I'm the voice of Jean, the Dandelion Knight, and acting Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius.
My name is Nazeeh Tarsha, and I am the voice of your feeble scholar, Al Hatham.
I'm Christina Costello, and I am the voice of Kale reporting for duty. Yay!
My name is Valeria Rodriguez, and I'm the voice of
Sucrose.
My name is Sean Chiplock, and I'm the voice of Reason. Your car needs new tires. Your apartment rent is coming up. You do not need that new 5-star weapon. No, stop shaking your head. Get off your phone. Save your money. I'm also Diluc, I guess. Hi.
Just rattles off.
Is Paimon still emergency food?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Paimon's not emergency food. Come on, guys.
Come on. I think that like you got to be prepared.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
When you never know when you have to cook Paimon? What do you...
An emergency is an emergency.
Paimon is emergency food, and the way radioactive waste is emergency food. Yeah, you can eat it once.
Goodness.
Good point. Very fair point.
Great question.
I love it. Yeah, she'll
Thank
be
you.
Emergency food for
We
it.
had the TCG tournament that was based in Mondstadt before we had Fontaine released. When you added in the Ashante bit, was that intentionally written into the script, or was that something you added just for fun and they kept it?
Totally written into the script.
Oh, it was?
Totally. And we even like had a discussion about it, and it was like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, sure. Sure. We'll try it. I think we might have done an alternate. But yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I still get lots of Ashante.
Yeah, I was just asking because I know, like, when it first came out, you had like half of the fandom losing their minds over it. So,
yeah, no, it was totally in the script, and it was
Okay.
a shock to me as well.
well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Now I'm just thinking about the Oratrice Mécanique than the started now.
I didn't even know that was from Genshin.
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Did you see that Queen, the band, like posted it? They posted it on like the meme going around of the Oratrice
Queen?
Mécanique. Yeah.
like Queen.
Yeah, like actual Queen.
Like,
Oh my God.
I know, dude. It's
You're
great.
like an A-lister now.
No, my friend texted me, was like, this is from your game. I was like, no, it's not. Whoa,
It is.
okay.
Sorry to take away from your question. Just the Ashante.
No,
and I was
no
like,
worries.
Come
no
on,
worries,
man.
you're
You got
fine.
the protagonist of Fire Emblem Engage at the mic. Let's go.
If all of your characters were in a group therapy session, in which order would they come out crying?
I'm outside the door taking everyone's entrance fee.
I feel like Kale would be first.
Kale would walk in and go, people care about me, and she's done.
I was gonna say that I felt like Kale and Sucrose would be crying before entering the room.
They've already started talking. They're already crying together.
Crying, yeah.
And they walk in and they're like, guys, it's time for therapy.
I feel like Xiao would be the most defensive and aloof for as long as possible, and then at the very last moment would just break down sobbing. Just years of angst and pain would just come out like a floodgate, and then he would be much lighter and maybe let more people in, you know?
I feel like Amber would cry at the end because she'd be like, guys, that was so beautiful. I'm so happy we did that together.
Amber would be giving everybody hugs and and stickers of gold stars for sharing.
She's actually running the session.
Little plushies. Yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah,
she
Kaya
would be running this.
Kaya would probably find a way to help the therapist kind of uncover some of his issues. Yeah.
I think Jean wouldn't cry until like She really had to because she has to be strong.
One single tear.
Just one tear. Dramatic.
Sino wouldn't cry. He'd see everyone else cry and tell jokes just to try to make them laugh, and then everyone would just continue to cry because they're awful.
And then the therapist would be like, "Are you being defensive, Sino? Are you projecting?"
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
I know it's not.
It's not your fault.
I'm pretty
right.
It's Sean's fault.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it would be the quietest therapy session. He'd just read the entire time. If we're talking about I'll hate them. Time's up. All right, let's go.
I feel like he could read a sad book and then get his therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have to talk to anyone. He's just reading like a self-help book. Like, guys, I'm all set. Don't worry about
I feel
it.
like all of these answers also apply if they're drunk. All the same answers.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you could change anything about your character, tweak it at all, any alteration, whether it be element, weapon choice, maybe less dead soulless eyes.
No. No. Where is our summer swimsuit boys banner?
It's kind of spitting.
Not the screen.
I'd want Sino to be even shorter.
I would like Sino to have shoes because I'm tired of hearing his foot ground grippers.
You won't hear the tippy taps. I would like him to have the cloak. I would like him to have the cloak from the webtoon, though. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, yeah, kind of in that same vein, I want to see Kaya in that white manga suit.
Yeah.
Just that white suit. So fun.
Josey, we need custom shirts for Diluc and Kaya. Kaya has one that says, "I'm was stupid." And Diluc has one that says, "He's stupid."
Perfect.
Ashante.
Ashanti.
I would love to have an option of a Hot Topic series of outfits for Xiao. And, oh gosh, I just forgot. Again, my brain is Swiss cheese too. I would not change a hair on his head in terms of what he looks like, but I would like him to also be able to turn into a bird at a moment's notice in the game and fly around. I think that would be amazing.
Jean's just jealous she didn't get a ducky purse like her sister in her summer outfit.
I love that you said a Hot Topic, Xiao, because I want Kale to be as emo as possible, as her soul wants her to be.
Yeah.
I want her to dress like I did in high school.
Flips.
Yeah,
I
I want her
we
to.
need an emo banner, right?
Yeah, an emo banner.
Like a Linkin Park,
Yeah.
like a, Pierce the Veil.
And then look, it's us how we all dressed in high school. It's perfect. Yeah.
T-shirt says, "I put the sin in Genshin." That's for you fan fiction writers.
I would see if he can get a better roommate. Maybe a little quieter.
I'm right here, buddy.
Maybe things are okay.
You're welcome.
I love everything about Amber. I wouldn't change anything.
Liar.
I'm not kidding. No.
I personally think Amber and Coley are absolutely perfect as is and needs
Thank
no
you.
change
Thank you.
whatsoever.
Aww,
Maybe
I
a little
love that.
backpack for Baron Bud.
They're nuggets. I love it.
Coley just needs her pita pockets and some plushies.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'll get a
I'm changing
backpack
my
for
answer. A bunch of plushies. I want Coley's banner to be her and a bunch of plushies. And that's it. Thank you.
Or just her with a Baron bunny, just a bunch of Baron bunnies.
I love it. Thank you so much.
What was your favorite moment as playing Amber?
So many, but one moment definitely sticks out. I was recording something, and I can't remember the specific line, but she says something about a sticky honey roast, and I'm from the South, and we have a place called Honey Baked Ham, and I was recording, thank you.
Honey baked hams are everywhere, Kelly.
Oh, well, I'd ask people, and they're like, what's a honey baked ham? So that's just like a thing. So in my mind, I was like, oh, sticky honey roast, that's like a honey baked ham, right? So I'm recording this line, and I'm like, nailed it. And Chris Fael, the director, was like, great job, except you didn't say sticky honey roast. And I was like, And he was like, you actually said honey baked ham. And I was like, I did? And he was like, yeah. And they played it back for me, and I was like, that's so embarrassing. I just like blacked out and said honey baked ham instead of sticky honey roast. So that is one of my favorite moments from recording Amber.
I love that.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored by honey baked ham.
Or Smart Water.
Now I want honey baked ham.
I also like honey baked ham, so.
Great. So we like it all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for answering.
Have any of your Genshin characters inspired you to pick up a new hobby or even develop a new habit that surprised you?
Sino solidified that I could never play modern day Yu-Gi-Oh. Modern day
That's
Yu-Gi-Oh
fair.
is a science. It
Yeah.
is literally like, all right, standby phase, main phase. All right, I draw. I play this card. All right, cool. This will allows me to tune and summon, exceed summon, XYZ. I'm like, what the hell's happening? So, yeah, it solidified. I'm like, I'm going to stick to Uno. Yeah.
I collect bones now, so.
What kind of bones?
Human.
Mostly human.
Man, the rituals you
Okay.
guys go through before pulling on banners, I swear.
Amber loves food, and I also love food, and I feel like I did start cooking more and being a little more adventurous in my cooking, but I hadn't thought it was correlated until you just asked that question. So
I mean, I've always been the like lovable in my friend group, and I think maybe after Kaya, I amped it up a little bit. Yeah.
Perfect. Wow.
Actually, weirdly enough, I've just become more of a recluse. There's a reason why I don't show up to any of these streams.
Well, yeah, because we never hit you up. Until
Because
I do.
I will say no.
No, that's true.
I've asked him once.
No, that's true. The answer is no.
so much.
How do you guys get into character? Especially like Alejandro, you voice Sino and
Genuine.
Yeah, Genuine. How do you get those voices to like come to you? Like, what's your secrets?
I mean, for Sino, when Sino was first introduced, Chris Filo was like, oh, he's kind of like Batman. And I was like, cool. But then the more we recorded of him, they're like, oh, he also does jokes. And we're like, what? Yeah, he does jokes. Like, what kind of jokes? Really bad ones. And I was like, okay. So it's the way I thought of it, I was like, oh, this is when he's on the job, this is him. And when he's off the job, he's like, hey, you guys want to play card games? You guys want to play games? And with Jing Yuen, it was really funny because the voice originally was a lot higher. And then when I went in, they were like, could we actually go lower? And I was like, oh, sure. How low? And they're like, just low. And then we kind of went from there, and it's like, I am Jing Yuen. And it just kind of went from there. And honestly, a big inspiration for Jing Yuen's voice is Keith's Zhongli. So, so if anyone ever goes like, oh, Jing Yuen kind of sounds like Zhongli, I was like, yeah, a little bit.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's understanding the character, who they are as people, as like living, breathing people, and so like with Jean, she's like I said, she's very grounded, and even though I'm a lot of times I'm all the way up here and all over the place in my brain, I just have to remember like with Jean, she's very pensive, she's very thoughtful. So how am I, as Stephanie, going to help that, like bring that story forward? Yeah, I think for me, it's really understanding the character and then trusting the directors to guide us where we need to go. And I also do love a good listen and repeat is what we call them.
Yeah.
Where they'll play you a line from a previous session or from your audition and kind of cues you back into where you were for that voice.
Or my favorite is, here's your audition. We're doing the complete opposite.
Hell yeah.
That does happen.
Yes.
I find something to be helpful is knowing what the character looks like.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot. I can create a character if I don't know what they look like, but to me, I'm a very visual person, so I like to know, are they tall, are they short, what are they wearing, do they wear accessories, or do they have glasses, do they have a backpack, like all of those things affect their physicality. So to me, I can come up with a character way faster if I see the visual representation. But like Stephanie said, also like grounding yourself, knowing what your character wants and all of that too.
Yeah, I'm piggybacking off of you guys because that was amazing. So I'm copying your homework. But a lot for me is when I do an audition, I make up a backstory. Like if I don't know anything about this character and they're like, it's a lady and they're cute, here you go. I will make up my own kind of story because that helps me get into a place. Sometimes I'm so horribly wrong, it's not even funny. But every once in a while, I get it right, and then I get to work, and that's exciting.
But you also make a choice, too.
Yeah.
Even if you're wrong, like, you made a choice, so that's great.
Exactly. Like for Kale, it was kind of easy for me because the lines were all super nervous energy, and I just sound like that. That's just me. I'm always nervous. But for Mozzarella Cookie, they were like, the only thing I knew was she was confident. And I was like, but I'm gonna make her an absolute menace. She's gonna be a gremlin, and she's gonna be like, Cookie Run Kingdom, how about betting the kingdom? Because she's just a little, like, sassy gremlin for no reason, and that was the choice I made. So when I got in there, they were like, hey, we were gonna play her really calm, but she's gonna be a weirdo now. And I'm like, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I love it.
Since I didn't hear it mentioned, I figured I'd just throw it in. I happen to be a physical actor. Like, I know some people imagine I very much have to embody the pose. So when I'm playing Diluc in his calmer scenes, like when he's just kind of the person working at the tavern, I will physicalize like I'm taking a glass off the shelf and, you know, cleaning it inside and out. Not only because it helps me adopt like that calmer posture, but when my brain is distracted by the action that I'm doing, I'm not thinking so much about the line that I'm saying in terms of like, make sure I say this word this way, make sure I, you know, emphasize this word, which leads to a more natural performance. Other examples might be, you know, if we're in a battle scene and I'm trying to be serious, I'll act like I'm holding, you know, the claymore. If I have to talk with Kaya, I drink a whole bottle of sangria before I say my next line.
Of course.
That's actually a lie. We have a thing where I pay him $100 for the session. He comes in, I get to strangle him to the floor, and it works really nice.
It works out really well.
It's a good deal, too.
Yeah.
So,
And a workout.
Extra pocket change.
But
Deal, Luke.
Deal Luke. Oh.
that's a Sino joke. That's a Sino joke. No, but the physical thing is real. So like whatever helps you get into the mentality, whether it's physicalizing it, whether it's imagining it. Sometimes it's just about asking questions. Do not be afraid to ask directors questions like, how tall is this character? If you don't have the images, ask. Like, what is the scenario? How far apart are they from each other? The more info that you have, the more educated a decision you can make, and that makes everyone's lives easier, including yours.
Yeah.
So.
Since everyone already covered character work, for commercials, I like to imagine I really, really love whatever product that is I'm about to sell. So one morning, I really love Cheerios. The next morning, I really love Smart Water. And then, you know, I just tell my girlfriend all morning, like, man, you should really try this. This is good. And then I record it.
I love that.
Yeah, love that question. It's so great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I was like really curious about like specifically Sean's like thought process.
Oh,
of, like,
that's not a quick answer.
I know.
That's the
That's a Pandora's box
Thought process
right there.
about what?
About like when you got the character Diluc.
All right, so the funny thing about when I first started was when I tried to do background research on him, the website that I was looking at glitches on phones. So it fused his bio with Razor's bio. So I actually thought for like the first session that he was a child raised in the woods who became a bartender.
That explains it.
I know, if you listen to the first couple like original lines of him, you'll notice he sounds a lot gruffer, and that's why. We figured it out over time. But then as I played him more, I realized, oh, he's an introvert. He's someone who, if we think of, to use Rivali as an example, or well, okay, Japanese Rivali is very eccentric. He kind of parades himself around because he's very strong and he wants people to respect him. Diluc kind of does it in the aspect that it's his charge, where it's like, I am the strongest around here, so it is my responsibility to look after the people of Mondstadt. And that's a very heavy responsibility. And so I noticed that he kind of kept to himself because he's like, it's not that he doesn't think you're capable or that the traveler's incapable. He's like, it doesn't matter because I have to be the one to do this. I'm in charge. But around Weinlissefest, which is also an event that he kind of takes seriously because of his, running the Dawn Winery, that's about the time that he also realizes, oh, the traveler has done all of this stuff and helped the people of Mondstadt. Maybe it's okay to let the walls down a little bit. Gotcha. So that's, at first, like, I thought it was just, oh, he's very reclusive and he's kind of the Batman, but that's not really the case. He just feels unreasonably that he has to take on more than he needs to, and you really start to see his softer side when he goes, it's okay to have friends. People are allowed to help. Okay. Like
He had like a lot of obligation weight on him as like a very young adult, very young child.
And I identify with that. There's a lot of things that I take on for myself because I'm like, if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. Yeah. But it's important to recognize when people around you are capable and willing to help, and just make sure that you respect their time and the effort that they're going through, and you show that you appreciate it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Unless you're Josey, then screw off. Yeah.
If you could voice any other character than your own in Genshin, who would it be?
Go, Barbara, go! Stop. Oh my gosh.
I'm an emergency food traveler. Ha. What do you mean, ha?
I would voice Baron Bunny. I would give Baron Bunny a voice.
I think I would want to voice one of the hilly churls. I'd be like, blah, blah.
Mussolini?
No, I went.
Tim
Allen?
Tim Allen. Yes. I would like to hear
All
the story.
Listen.
Does he have a question?
I'm a cisgender male, okay? I'm very happy with my current gender, but when I saw those rabbit girls in that update that are all female, for just a second I went, I wonder.
Ally.
I love that.
Beto.
Oh, Beto, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
I just want to voice a really intense, gruff man because it would be wrong. And specifically, the only male voice I've got is like the "I'm a 10-year-old boy," and that would be their voice. And that would be Diluc.
That would be really your polar opposite.
Yeah. I would.
That's what I just heard.
I love it. That's such a fun question. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your favorite line that you voiced, throughout your entire career?
So it's a tie for me because I thought it was going to be our favorite line as our character in Genshin, which for me would have been "never settle for mediocrity" as Diluc, because I'm a very passionate person, for better or for worse, and I feel like that passion has helped a lot of the aspects of my career. But I think the one that really stuck with me. Do we have any Tokyo Revengers fans in here? I can tell because I smelled that. Anyway, there's the scene when they're in the hospital and Draken goes, "Listen, you don't have to bow your head. Just have a heart that cares for others." And I thought that was so cool because the meaning of that is basically you don't have to pretend to be something that you're not, but you also have to recognize when it's not your turn anymore, Yeah. It's very easy in this career for us we get pressured all the time to make it about ourselves, to post on social media, to say, check out this performance, I want to voice this character, I want to be in this project. But until you step back and you realize you got to lift up everyone else around you, you got to support their victories, you got to hope for them, because like a great project is a great cast, and a great cast makes a great project. So I love that quote about just have a heart that cares for others, because sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about the world around you and making sure that everyone has whatever is in your bowl at the moment and just making sure everyone's doing well, because that's how we make a better world in general.
I love that. Mine is so silly that I feel.
Oh, I'll say my silly one.
Okay,
Mine
go
is
first.
in Hell's Paradise, I got to say I'm married. And I love saying it. That is genuinely one of my favorite lines that I've ever recorded.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That's not silly. Mine is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine's the silly one. That's okay. So Kali gets to say it's too cringy. And it's my favorite. She goes, "Doesn't it embarrass them when they think back on it later? No, it's too cringy. I can't read any more of this." My favorite line. Because I'm the only Genshin character to say cringy.
I love it. I have 3.
Oh,
First
good.
is I can't decide. I'm a Libra. So for Xiao, my favorite is obviously once the snow is thick enough, we can eat it. Yes. For my first and only Disney cartoon I was in as Mrs. Croaker from Disney's Amphibia, it's, well, 1 foot in the grave and still learning new things. But my absolute favorite quote I've ever had for any character was in River City Girls as Misuzu, the boss that you fight. And she says, "Boys hate scrawny little bugs. They want a woman with meat on her bone." And I got all the meat.
She's right. She's right.
Yes.
I'm gonna need to eat some snow to cool down after
Bigger
that
than a bowl of oatmeal.
one. I'm married.
I am too.
Well, my favorite line from Genshin specifically, I just remember recording, and I recorded this line, and I was like, I know who you are now. It's, "What a meanie." I was like, oh, that's who she is. That's who she is. And then honestly, I loved recording every single line for Disgaea 6 because she was so annoying. And it was amazing. She got to sing everything. And the director was like, "Can you be an annoying Disney princess?" And I was like,
Say no more.
this is my moment. I was literally born for this. So literally any Melodia
You were so
line.
good in that.
Oh my God, thank you.
My favorite is probably from Bat Wheels, which is a preschool animated show, and I get to be the Riddler's helicopter. So I get to say, riddle me this, riddle me that. So, being a part of that's really, really fun.
I was gonna say, So with Jean's very grounded and very like pensive, thoughtful, and I just love how serious she is. But then I'll say my favorite line of hers is "Let the wind lead," just kind of trusting that the wind's going to lead you where you need to go. But my other favorite character, the favorite line from a character is also a children's preschool animation. It's Bugs Bunny Builders, and I play the Queen Bee, and her lines are.
I like your Madame Blueberry lines, though.
Madame Blueberry from VeggieTales. Yes, we do love her as well.
One of my favorite lines, I guess, I got two. For I'll hate them, I guess, curses, there's sand in my shoes.
I relate to that.
Well, it's, who does like
I
it?
hate sand between my toes. Ugh.
But I think like I had like an audible laugh when I first saw that line, just because obviously, it's between the Star Wars reference and all that stuff. I was just like, yeah.
Well, of course, it's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Exactly. And then the other line I really like is from a game called Rogue Company. I play a character named Dima, and he just shouts really loudly, "Rain pain, rain money."
Unironically, used to be my main when I played Rogue Company.
Oh, all right, there we go. See, one person in this room knows it.
Yeah. I like that. I like those 4 words way more than "F you pay me." I'm gonna start saying that.
Rain pain, rain money. It's become the mantra. About to get into a session. All right, let's get this bread.
Also relatable.
But yeah, those would be mine.
I can't remember anything ever. My brain is Swiss cheese, but I love voicing Laguna in Monster High because she just gets to do a lot of like a lot of roaring sounds. So I would say those are like my favorite lines whenever I get to like. But I also like because she's very sweet. So she goes, "Oh my gilly beans," because she's very sweet about Gil. So I'd say those 2 Laguna lines, the roar and the gilly beans.
I love it. That's
a great question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Our pleasure.
Ask what made you guys want to start doing voice acting?
Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
2 words, hands
yeah.
down. Watching Aladdin and Mrs. Doubtfire changed my life forever. I mean, I grew up watching Looney Tunes, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Darkwing Duck, the whole Disney afternoon, like everything you think of, Goof Troop, all those things, and wanting to embody these characters, but it wasn't till I saw like the genie in Aladdin and Mrs. Doubtfire when I was like, wait, it was like seeing the Wizard of Oz with the curtain peeled back for a moment, and I was like, wait, this is a world I can actually enter. And it wasn't until a few years after graduating college that I actually found out I could study it. But that was literally I just wanted to be everything as possible close to him. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean,
My muse.
Jim Carrey was a big, watching Jim Carrey, watching Saturday Night Live and doing impressions, not even doing impressions of the actual people, but doing impressions of the SNL actors doing their impressions of the people, like trying to nail their impression.
You were layers deep before the rest of us.
Yeah, it's true. No, but like that kind of thing was like just too much fun, and I wanted to see what I could do with it.
I did not want to be a voice actor. I wanted to be, whoa. Listen to my story, Alejandro.
Wow.
I just wanted to be honest. I didn't want to be a voice actor. I wanted to be on Broadway.
Musical theater, baby.
I went to performing arts high school, and I was like, I'm going to be on Broadway. I got a degree in musical theater performance, and I was like, I'm going to do this. But then after I graduated, I got a vocal injury known as nodes, which is calluses on your vocal folds. So I actually couldn't talk for a while. I definitely couldn't sing. So while I was recovering, I took the entire writing program at Second City, and then that was when I couldn't really talk. And then when I could talk and I couldn't really sing, I was like, well, let me take a voiceover class. Maybe I'll do voiceover on the side while I'm on Broadway tap dancing my little heart out. And so I took a voiceover class, and I was like, okay, great, I like it. I'm going to take another one. And then I got an agent, and I was like, wait, I like this so much more than musical theater. So you can't yell at me because now I love my job and I love a voiceover. And I don't do musical theater anymore because this is my full-time thing, but I do still love musical theater. So yeah, that's my journey. Don't do it like that. Don't get a vocal injury. Just don't do it.
Don't figure it out.
This is both delightfully serious but also philosophical, so I apologize ahead of time.
Keep it short, Sean. Keep it short.
I'm in this because I'm an attention whore with ADHD. That's how it started anyway. When I was a lot younger, I could be best described as having just all of this energy and nowhere to focus it, which is usually a disaster when you're still learning social skills because you're trying to find some kind of outlet to pour it into. And voice acting was that first thing where I felt like, oh my God, here's something where I can take all of this energy that I have, and whether it's through, maniacally crazy characters or, comedic sidekicks or stuff like that, there's a role where that kind of energy will fit. And then over the years, it's been honed, and, I found a love of it because it lets me connect to all these different communities, or it lets me portray characters that might be able to do things or exist in a format that's not possible in real life. Like, how many of us have wished we could talk to our pets, right?
Oh my God.
And just, okay, yes, we can technically talk to our pets, but literally say, how are you doing today, Squiggles? And he goes, I'm fine, thank you. But the idea that you can play like a talking animal or something like that. But then if we want to get a little bit philosophical, when I think about it as an adult, all the stuff waiting for us in the real world when we come back from this convention at the end of Sunday, whether it's our jobs or like the next political thing that we have to focus on or the next dumpster fire that we have to put out, I'm not surprised that a lot of us like to escape for a little while, whether it's in a show or a game, when our biggest problem is that some mega villain is trying to take over the world, but for fun reasons, So it's interesting to me to be able to play that, to be a heroic character or be a sidekick or be a funny animal or something like that. Because in the moment, that's all that matters. And I think that's very cathartic. It's very relaxing. So that's part of why I stick with it.
I love that. I feel like for me, I honestly, when I was little, I didn't know voiceover was a career. I thought that Donald Duck went to his trailer and that was the end and they were done shooting the show. So it took a while to realize that was an actual job. But I'm from Massachusetts. I still live on the East Coast. So I never thought that career would be a thing that I could do. And as weird as it is to say this, I'm grateful that we had a big shift because of because it opened up to accessibility. I'm disabled. This was not a career I imagined doing. I was studying nutrition. I'm going to graduate still, though, because I'm so close. I have 2 credits left. Thank you. Thank you. But I should drop out now, right? After I have
you're
the
about to finish.
Oh, okay. But it was just something that the timing just worked out really well. When auditions started happening, I grew up wanting to do acting because Boston has a pretty good film hub. So I took classes already, and I was already trying to do that route. And everything hit at once, and I stole all of my boyfriend's equipment because he's a musician. I took everything for myself and started pursuing voice acting, and it happened to work, but I feel like it was just a very lucked into thing for me that I'm so grateful I can do, and I'm so grateful that it's more accessible now, and I feel like the shift really helped a lot of people get into it that I never would have got into it because all my doctors are in Boston. I need that medical team. So it's really been an amazing journey. So thank you.
Make no mistake, we had it exceptionally easy during the lockdown compared to a lot of other industries in terms of how we were able to adjust and shift and just continue doing our work when most people were sitting at home twiddling their thumbs. And I won't go too deep onto this, but that's why it's even more important that any aspiring voice actors, actresses, or anyone that supports the industry keep abreast of the stuff going on nowadays, especially with, automation, AI, and that kind of thing, because we are so fortunate to still have our industry after something like that. And now we've got stuff breathing down our necks that shouldn't be around, or at least shouldn't be as free to wreck house as it is right now. So we appreciate your support, but we also implore you to help support us in the fight against things that threaten that very industry, because we love what we do. We love doing it for you. And for any of you that are interested in joining us, we want you to have a career that you can be excited about, but we have to be willing to fight for it. We can't take small measures and go, okay, we're okay with that, because you give them an inch, they will take the entire, the entire marathon.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
And same goes for the amazing vendors here, artists, everything. That's not just us. So
yeah. Let us know if you see our names and voices on sites where they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
that's true.
As a protective measure, because I've seen some of us have accidentally fallen prey to this, if we post a commission that we got and you suspect it's AI, please let us know and give us a chance to do due diligence, because I promise you, 99 times out of 100, it was not our intent to support that, and we want to know, but we don't want to make a big drama train out of it.
Yeah.
So if you see it and you're like, why are you posting this? Just send us a DM, say, hey, I think this might be AI. Could you look at these details? We will probably thank you for it.
Yeah, just circling back around, Teen Titans got me into this. I wanted to become a superhero, but I was like, okay, what's the next best thing? Becoming a voice actor and then maybe possibly getting to play a superhero. Avatar, Teen Titans, Overwatch, all the stuff World of Warcraft, all that stuff got me into VO.
I would say that like all of us have very different journeys into how we got to it.
Except for me and Stephanie.
Except for me and Kelly.
We have very similar stories.
They are oddly similar. We both got vocal notes and both wanted to be on Broadway. But it is. It's very true.
Wait, you also had vocal notes?
I did.
What?
This was you guys. This shows how old I was. I had vocal notes, and my ear, nose, and throat doctor told me I couldn't talk for 30 days while they were healing. I carried around a whiteboard because I didn't have an iPad because they didn't exist at the time. And someone would be like, what do you think about this? And I'd be like, hold on, I'll write down my response, and I'd show it, and they would be like, oh, okay, great, and I'd be like, yeah. Like trying to laugh like it was so embarrassing, but it shaped who I am. Anyway, but what I was going to say is that we all have different journeys. We all had different paths that we took to get here, and I think we all felt in our soul, I don't know, I guess I can't speak for all of you, but like we were called to perform, felt that desire to perform and to create, and I think that no matter what inspires you, no matter what path you take, there are many different ways that you can get into this career, and they're all valid.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a way to build my confidence, like example, like you guys do your confidence?
I would say that like the more you can just read out loud when people are in the room, it'll just help get you used to it. It'll stretch that muscle that, the nervousness will start to go away the more comfortable.
The Nike method?
Just
do it. Yeah. No, but actually, right, the more you do it, the less scared you are.
Yeah, I used to stumble a lot when I would read, and I hated
Same here. I stumble and I shake like a little kid, or someone's
and you
gonna
know
laugh at me or
Sometimes
something.
when I'm nervous in a session, I still will like fumble over my words. That's when you know I'm nervous. And you're like, oh, poor girl, bless her heart. But it'll happen every once in a while. But the more comfortable that you can get, just open a book at any page and just start reading out loud by yourself with people in the room. Just getting used to it is really, really helpful.
Okay.
And sometimes, this is one thing I learned, get your eyes checked too, because sometimes you can't read very well because you need glasses.
Stephanie.
It's true. My parents were like, we both have 20/20 vision, so you kids don't need it. And all of us kids are like, huh? So, true story.
And for me, something that kind of helps, not so much with like either random folks, strangers, or like my family and friends, but more so in a professional environment. I feel a lot safer because everyone is there to do a job. And so there is no such thing as being too silly, too over the top or anything. So there's sort of a freedom that my mind kind of tricks itself into, knowing that I'm with other like people doing the exact same job. So like, in front of my girlfriend, I absolutely hate trying to do any sort of playing around with my voice and going over copy or whatever, because it's like...
Because he's like, I'm shy.
But, if you put me in a booth where I know the director, where everyone in the room is trying to get the performance out of you, suddenly it becomes less about me and more about getting that performance. So kind of trying to build that mentality as well, where it's like, everyone in the room wants the same thing, so you should feel less pressure in terms of making a fool of yourself or anything like that, because that's something that used to get to me.
Piggybacking off of that, Jess Harnell, most known as Wacko in Animaniacs, used to say, instead of saying I'm so nervous, say I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a bunch of voice actors have said that, so if I'm misquoting, I apologize. Also, and now I'm gonna lose my train of thought.
We're so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to be here. Also, all the people, when you're ever at a voiceover session, all the people in the room want you to succeed. The casting, and when you're auditioning, the casting directors want you to succeed. The people sending you the auditions want you to succeed. So if you picture, like, I always try to picture talking to a close friend. Actually, I'm always talking to Steph. I'm always like, hey, Steph, whenever I'm reading an audition, I think of like that person that makes you the most comfortable and just talk to them, and think of that person when you get nervous and just Try to let that everything else wash away and find a happy place in your mind, someplace you like to go.
Thank you so much.
One of the biggest barriers to us as actors in the booth is, I think, one of the biggest barriers to us as people, especially in today's interconnected world, is this fear of failing, this fear of it not landing or it ticking someone off or us doing something wrong, and then it languishes over us for so long. And I think that keeps a lot of people in general, from wanting to try things out or being willing to do things, because what if it's wrong? What if it leaves this person with the impression of, oh, they're not who I thought they were, and now I think differently of them. And I know this is gonna be really, really, really tough for you, because even I am not perfect about it still. But you have to be willing to just take that risk, because you will very quickly...
I'm so sorry.
Hi, you want to come in?
Oh my God.
Look.
Unless you're Alejandro, because he never fails. He's just perfect at everything. He saw what I did, and he's like, that's perfect, I'm stealing it. I'm gonna do it better.
I heard you from down the hall.
So project better.
All right, so how do we be as perfect as you, Alejandro?
You drop out of college.
But I didn't.
See, you can't be afraid of failing if you don't give yourself the chance to fail in the first place. No.
Did you drop out of college?
Get your chair up.
I can do you one better. I dropped out of high school. And now I make a lot of money. No student debt. Hey, I didn't recommend that.
Yeah.
I just watch Dropout 18 hours a day because Dungeons and Dragons is my fix.
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say that.
Drop out of college and watch
Drop
D&D.
out of college and watch D&D. No.
What could go wrong?
Everyone always says, oh, improv exercises, all that, but I personally hate improv. It makes me so sweaty.
Yeah.
D&D is a great form of improv because you're around your friends, especially if you're the dungeon master. So it's a little bit less nerve-wracking to stand in front of your friends and do all these crazy voices, but it actually helped me a lot, not only develop voices and characters, but also feel more comfortable trying out weird, like, little goblin voices and stuff like that when it was in front of, like a little goblin in front of my friends. So that's
Yeah, I've been
actually-
thinking join a guild or like that.
Join a guild, go to your local tavern, drop out of college, and play D&D.
What could go wrong?
She pretty much nailed it, yeah.
I feel like though too, when you're nervous, something that helps me is to ground myself. So if I'm standing and I'm reading something, I try to think of my feet on the floor, or if I'm sitting down, I think of my butt in the seat. Or sometimes I just put my hands on my chest and breathe for a second and close my eyes. Because if my nerves are all the way up here, which is what you kind of said, like, oh, I'm just shaking. Sometimes I also shake when I'm nervous. So to calm myself down, I think about grounding myself down. So that also might help too. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great question. Love it.
Great question.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah.